Welcome back, everyone. Quickshot and I are happy to be joined by Rocket support Vander. Vander, 59 minutes, 27 seconds battle for first place, and you guys made it. What were the first reactions? Because you seem very calm now, but I don't think you're calm on the inside.
Yeah, it was. We didn't feel at all that it's that long game. Like, I only knew that it's 55 minutes because I timed the buffs and nashors, so I'm like, oh my god, it's that long in the game already. But yeah, I feel like a bit relieved because we did really bad last week. We lost both games, and now we are back in the victory, with the victory in the screen.
Yeah, not only did you grab the victory, that's now also the first place title in the European LCS. In my head, that was the most exciting game that we've seen. I want to ask you to summarize it for me. How do you as a player cram that 57-minute game into a couple of sentences? What went right and what went wrong overall in your mind?
I feel we did really good early game. We did our plan, and it was to give some advantage to Renekton with Elise. It worked. Then we controlled the game, I think. We got the dragons, we got the towers, and we did a really bad fight at the top lane where they caught me. I thought that Renekton will tank the binding for me, but then Morgana hit it, and yeah, like I got caught and we lost the fight.
Scumbag Zaz is making you lose that. You were mentioning the early game, and it's something that we noticed as well, that you guys were struggling. Is that what you identified as the main thing you had to work on as well? And how did you do that?
Could you repeat?
Yeah, how did you work on your early game specifically?
Okay, so in this week, when we were screaming, we like won every early game. And we're like really surprised. We did it here too, but we struggled in mid game again. So yeah, it's like just we pick more comfortable champions for Jankos, I think. Like he played Wukong before, he's not that strong in the early game, and now we are back to Elise, so we get the edge in the early game.
Yeah, you got the edge in the early game, and then a ton of stuff happened, and eventually there was that so important Baron fight, the very last one. I would really like to go through it with you.
So let's actually immediately pull this replay up onto your screen. It happens very near the end of the game. Leading up to this point, this was the 4th Baron, if memory serves, around about. Yeah. There had been fights back and forth. This is a very long replay. So what I'd like you to do is just talk me through what's happening in Rocket's mind. You coming into challenge, so let's start the replay and just talk me through what's happening from your point of view.
So we knew they started the Baron, we had no vision. We saw the Vi coming at us, I tried to catch her. Then like Selaver got caught with the binding, so I was shouting get the lantern, he did. Then yeah, I stopped them with the box, with the play, he tried to lifesteal, but Elise died, unfortunately.
So my question now, with Elise down and knowing that Baron is still a possibility, your 4v5, we're going to fast forward a little bit. What's the calling, what's the communication like for your team going back into the pits?
Okay, so we knew we have to do something. We knew we had no Elise, but they were low HP, so we had really big chance to do something.
What was the goal? Did you want Baron or did you want kills?
No, we tried to stop them from doing Baron, like you see Zazu's coming in now. But Vi did the Nashor alone, then really good barrel from Gragas, and here I think my hook was really good on Kha'Zix here, and then just we caught them one by one, and when we killed Vi, we knew we can finish the game.
So very seriously, what was the communication like? Was it clear? Was everybody yelling over everybody? Because that was incredibly tense to us. I was jumping up and down. How were you handling it?
It was like, I felt like myself, if we don't do something now, then we will lose this game. So I think everyone in the team was like this. So we just said, Zazus go in, go tank, and me and Overpo will do something. And yeah, we did, like really good barrel. Then he destroyed the Banshee with his E on Kha'Zix, so I could hook him, and
it worked out.
Yeah. Definitely did work out. And you guys broke the winning streak, the losing streak, excuse me, with a great win here versus Gambit. Did you ever in the last 3 games that you guys lost doubt your own capabilities or the ones of your battling partner like together, or?
I think we were scared to do something before the games. We were like, we are first place, we can't lose now. And before we were playing to win, and last week we were like just playing not to lose, not to die. At least I think that. And this game we played aggressive, maybe over-aggressive in some points. But yeah, it worked out finally.
It's a great motto, great to hear the different sides, playing not to lose as opposed to playing to win. You have another game today. How has the preparation been for Rocket, knowing you have 4 games in the week, you have 2 games on one day? Is it a lot more difficult, considering you've only had 3 days from last week, etc.?
I think the worst thing is like if you lose the first game of the day, then you can be really demotivated to play the second one and you can lose because of this. So I think if we won this game, we have a really big edge over Millennium, unless they win now.
Well, and they are playing versus your kryptonite, SK Gaming. Who do you think will come out on top on this one?
I think SK should win. They are really strong now. I think they deserve to be even top 1 now in Europe. And I also hope they win, so Millennium will be a bit sad.
Obviously. Trevor?
Great answer. I think SK have just been generally performing better. I believe Millennium have the ability to win, but you have to think it's like 75-25 in favor of SK for this match.
Well, it's going to be a very exciting matchup for sure. Congratulations once again, Vander. Thank you for joining us, of course. And now we're going to head back over to D-Men in the Fish Show to get our next match underway.
Thank you very much, guys. And wow, what a game that was. Let's see how this one follows, because it's SK Gaming facing off against Millennium. And coming into this game, SK Gaming are down 0-2 to Millennium, which is something you guys might find a little strange at home. Of course, the only team they have yet to beat is SK Gaming. However, I can say that a number of times, those losses came during week 1 and week 2. So a lot has changed for SK in the meantime. I'm a little bit flustered after that last game. I just don't know where I am right now. Back then, of course, they were just 5 guys newly thrown together as a team, lacking a game plan. But now in week 8, they've carved themselves a hell of a reputation within the European LCS as the team to respect. You just heard it from Vander himself. He said they are one of the best teams, maybe deservedly at the top, who knows. In fact, of course, last Friday we highlighted all 5 of these players, and they're creating themselves the first ever OP team of the week.
In Quickshot, he also named SK Gaming the best team in Europe last week, and they've really proved to be among the top teams. Every lane is doing well, and they have multiple people with care potential. We know how good Candy Panda is, and while he was a big part of the early victories for SK Gaming, the rest of the team have now really stepped up, and everyone can just carry games. And we have Steady Freddy in the top lane. He's one of them. He's been playing so well in every single match. While he's not the type to make big flashy plays, he's always consistent. We've seen him pull out the Aatrox, which really shows he's just not sticking to these meta picks. He's also the top laner with the highest overall CS, and also the best top laner farm-wise at 20 minutes, with an average CS of 179. Freddy, he just loves this meta with the tanky bruisers, and while Renekton has been his most played champion, we've also seen him play Trundle, we've seen him with the Aatrox, and he's just so strong on everything.
And this is the second running, obviously, the second spring split, effectively, for Freddy. Didn't quite go so well for him with Against All Authority, but he was still a great player back then.
He was a great player, and he was one of the few people to really highlight. Back there, he was always doing well. Even when they were losing games, he always did well. So definitely been a guy around for some time.
And of course, Millennium, well, they may well have recorded 2 wins over SK Gaming, but last week we saw them getting mauled by both Gambit and the Copenhagen Wolves.
And Millennium, they're having issues in every aspect of the game at the moment. Earlier in the season, they were very strong early on, and they would give them a chance to win the game, but they seem to have lost this early dominance they used to have. And both games last week, we saw the Millennium bot lane having big issues. They won against Gambit, they fell behind early against both Lucian and Annie with a Civiliona combo. They did manage then to get a lot of kills with Aranea with some good ganks, but simply due to them being so far behind early on, they still lost the objectives, and they didn't even manage to catch up in gold. Day 2, Jerry decided to pick the Morgana into Annie, which simply meant that the Millennium bot lane, they fell far behind again, and Kraton, he never managed to catch up on CS compared to Forgiven. And Aranea, if you just continue the trend of the players, Aranea is a very aggressive and active jungler, but it sometimes backfires for him. We have seen him set up some very nice early kills where he's like predicting flashes or he counter ganks really well, but then he tends to be over-aggressive and gives the kills back to the other team by simply being caught out. Millennium, they really need Aranea to become more consistent, and they need him also to get his confidence back so he can put the motivation onto the team because he is the leader.
Well, even though SK Gaming has been dominant force in the LCS for the past few weeks, they still have a healthy fear of Millennium and their mid laner Kerp. In their mind, the key to victory will be stopping his aggressive assassins.
My biggest goal in Super Week is to beat Millennium because we already 0-2 against Millennium. I think that weak right now. I wouldn't say it's an automatic win. Even though Millennium is at the bottom of the LCS, we struggled hard to beat them in the past.
They kind of work together as a team really good right now, and the calls overall and the movement from them in-game is really good.
Probably they're not the strongest team or the strongest players, but they have such a good team play together, and they are playing the champions in the metagame. That's why they are winning that match.
Millennium has a really aggressive mid-player, Curb. He likes assassin-style heroes, and we struggled against such heroes in the past. But I think we come out of it, and we practiced against their playstyle and became way more solid overall. So I think we will manage to play better this time we face them.
And we'll see whether they actually focus on towards him, because Svenskeren himself is on a bit of a tear right now. And even all of the whole team, we said they're in the OP team of the week. Let's check out those starting lineups. So on the blue side, for SK Gaming, it is Freddy in the top lane, Svenskeren in that jungle, Jez is the mid lane, Candy Panda as AD carry, and N-Rated as support.
And on the red side, we have Millennium with Kevin in the top lane, we have Aranea in the jungle, Curb is the mid laner, Kraton on the AD carry, and of course Jerry is his support.
So, picks and bans about to get underway. What are we expecting? We're going to see something funky from these teams. We've seen Nocturne being used to counter the Pantheon. Are we going to see anything like that coming out this week?
I just want to see strong early game champions from Millennium side. I want to see them go in, win this early game against SK Gaming, and just snowball the game more or less from there. Pressure them out, make sure they can take the win before SK Gaming comes to these team fights where they're so good. It's going to be an issue though. Both junglers actually play the same kind of champions, so we could potentially see like Evelynn ban, we could see Pantheon bans against them, and at the same time, mid lane wise, Curb and Assassins, LeBlanc, Fizz, these kind of champions, potentially a ban for SK's side.
So what about N-Rated? We saw him talking there in the feature, but what's he going to go with? Because he's played so many supports. He pulled Kayle out last week to great effect.
Annie and Leona has been like his preferred one, but yeah, he's been playing so many different ones. He's showing his champion pools very deep. Potentially, Annie has probably been his best champion to really set up things, so it could be a ban, but then again, there's so many things for Millennium actually to target out. There's also the Kassadin, of course, maybe a Nidalee against Jesse, he's been playing it to great success, so there's so many bans for Millennium to actually think about.
No surprises here though, Vayne being taken away, and Nidalee, well, that's been taken away from Jez. It's the first time we've seen that one banned for a while. Of course, Jez has been playing it to great effect. Kassadin being banned out, of course, because Kurt really doesn't play it, but then again, the Al Red team, they have to ban it now. Meanwhile, we've also got LeBlanc, Elise, and Trundle.
Yeah, so we have the LeBlanc ban straight towards Curb. Means actually the Renekton was open for Freddy. He absolutely loves his champion. With Trundle being banged away, he could take it, and he can have full lane dominance. We can see his standard build where he goes like Dawn Shield and 2 Dawn's Blades, and he just focuses full on the lane and winning it.
Fast picks and bans coming through here, as you mentioned, the Renekton for Freddy, but Ziggs and Evelynn almost insta-locked by Millennium.
So they want to have the Evelynn taken away from Svenskeren, and also the Ziggs taken away from Jesus. He's been loving these wave clear champions to stay in the lane, farm all he wants, get it onto Curb. Very strong early game champion, they can put some pressure on there. Did leave some very key picks open though.
And to me, they've actually just switched away from it. They went towards Annie and Lulu as the 2 picks for N-Rated and Jez's, but Pantheon is still available, and you cannot let Svenskeren have Pantheon.
And even the best thing for SK, they didn't have to pick it, because Evelynn was already locked in. The jungler was there, can delay it. Instead, they pick up the Lulu mid lane, and he supports. So they have the favorite champion for the top laner, favorite champion for the support, and also now Lulu mid. We have seen her, how strong she is, the damage she can bring, the utility to the team, and the roaming potential. And Lulu against Ziggs in the mid lane, that is just a skill matchup. Land your stuff, and you can push the other one out of the lane.
Well, we do see Shyvana and Thresh being locked in for Millennium. That will be for Kevin and Jerry. Jerry himself is a fantastic Thresh player, that's for sure. Shyvana Renekton, it's a battle we've seen many, many times.
It's a battle in favor of Renekton. Early on, later on, Shyvana will start once she gets to Blaze the Rune King, she gets the Sunfire to really fight back, force Renekton into team fights. And Shyvana, if it go into late game, this is the thing about Millennium combo so far. If they get into late game with this setup, they have a lot of tankiness. Evelynn also will be very tanky, and also you have a lot of damage because Ziggs scales well into late game. Whatever AD carry they pick should be someone who scales into late game as well, and they're gonna have a very strong setup then.
So we just waited to see what SK go with. Candy Panda typing it out here. Will be the Lucian, it seems, for him. So the Lucian Annie lane, very strong in itself. And of course, the final pick will be for the jungler. We're expecting the Pantheon, but maybe he's just seen something different. No, it is going to be Pantheon.
Seems to be the Pantheon. Now the Lucian Annie bot lane, we saw it with Copenhagen Wolves where they played it. How strong it is early on, so much pressure. You're very strong at actually pushing out the lane, and just as we talked about Lucian, locks in the Jinx instead.
Spencer Karen realizing that you do get wet, you know, when you hold a cup on its side, water tends to pour out.
Well, I tried that earlier.
He's
today,
great
so.
on Pantheon, not the smartest overall though.
So looking at the picks though, Jinx being logged in, simply saying, I don't think Millennium has anything that can get to me, get towards me in the backline. I can just stay safely, fire away in every single fight. That's the strong point about Jinx. If you get this point where you can just hammer away in teamfights, nobody can get to you, she will be doing so much damage. And wow, Tristana being logged in here, which simply means for Millennium side, late game wise, the setup they have, Ziggs, Tristana, Shyvana, all three scale so well into the late game. We know how strong Evelynn is. If Millennium goes through the early game here, get into this mid-game scenario where, if they're actually building Blitz Rune King and Static Shift onto Tristana, she's very strong in the mid-game because she's gonna have so much damage, so much attack speed, proccing both the items. It's actually very good on her, and she's not as weak as people expect her to be.
We'll see how it goes. I mean, for me, all I'm doing, I'm seeing this, I'm seeing SK, you've got everything you want.
SK got pretty much every single champion they wanted to have. Millennium must have known this, and they've instant locked the Evelynn and also the Ziggs, so they definitely wanted these two, take it away from SK obviously. And for me, if they survive early game, go into this mid game, start having some good team fights, and then hit the late game point, Millennium's setup is very, very strong. But the early mid game power from SK's setup is very scary to deal with.
And that may well be a problem because SK Gaming's lane phase has always been fantastic, and they have really turned it around, to be fair. They're on an absolute crazy win streak right now. With the champions locked in, of course, for these teams, let's see who you guys at home think will win. Looking at the votes, it's 82% of you have picked SK Gaming, and I think, as Trevor said in the interview, I think that's about fair.
Very close. He said 75-25, very close. SK are the favorites, they have to be. This is one of the top teams against the bottom team. Let's see how it goes. SK Gaming, if they can close it out by winning the early game and then just take it from there, they're in a great position. But if it goes late game, we need to see how much Millennium can do with this very strong late game setup.
Well, you can see the crowd are ready and waiting to go. They've already seen two fantastic matches today. If you've missed any of them, get over to loesports.com and make sure you watch those VODs back. So here we go though, ladies and gentlemen. Game 3 of the Super Week. 16 games in total to be had. Many more to go. SK Gaming starting out as the blue team, and Millennium, of course, as the red team, playing from top to bottom. Destroy the Nexus. That's the target, but who will it be?
And let's see how it actually goes in this mid lane, because, as I said, it's a skill matchup. Both have the chance to actually really kill each other in lane and or shove the other one down. Lulu has the advantage, though. She can roam a lot more than Ziggs. He's forced to more or less stay and just farm away. So we need to see if Jessis wants to be more active on the map, or he's just going to stay here. Very standard Millennium level 1. Jerry into the bush, has the hook, spot someone with Areneus in stealth, and then try and land the hook and go for it.
Millennium always the team that goes for those invades. Oh, they got him rated! He's in all sorts of trouble. He's going down, no doubt about it. He's flashed! He's flashed away! Areneus flash through to follow. You can see down the bottom, actually, they are chasing around. Candy Panda's going to come around, see if he can help out. And Rated has got to run, but Kraton surely will finish him off here. The backgate, where is he going? The rest of the team, he's just going to run. Areneus will finally take it, turns around, gets a bit of flames on towards him. And actually, he bought enough time for his team to go in and get a lot of wards down.
Get a lot of wards. They only have the trinket wards, not ready yet. They can place a 1 minute onto the red. Spot if Millennium is either lane swapping or where the jungler starts. Generally though, you don't want to flash that way, because you are pretty much dead from it, and now you don't have a summoner. So if Evelynn comes down early towards the bot lane, N-rated will be the target.
And it does give Areneus, of course, a regrowth pendant and a pink ward from the very beginning. So we'll see what advantage that has and how long that pink ward, when it goes down, lasts for. Expect it to be going in that death bush near the dragon.
And it's going to be there most likely for a while, because you don't check these bushes early on, unless Svenskan has a lot of focus onto the mid lane. Could be a potential gank lane for him, because with Lulu, you can apply the slow, and then you can jump in, come in with a Pantheon, jump onto the target and just get a kill. So it could be going for it. Meanwhile, bot lane, we see the pushing war from level 1 as always.
Yeah, we'll see who wins it out this time around. Candy Panda with N-rated. It has been a great partnership, and N-rated calling Candy Panda the best AD carry in Europe so far. We'll see how it works out for him.
And SK took full advantage of the fact that Tristana, Kraton actually started W, so he didn't have his explosive his E, basically to kill the minions if he got the last day, would explode to the rest. Instead though, Candy Panda put on his rocket, just shoved down the wave early, gonna get the level 2, but not in a position to really punish Millennium other than forcing him to see us on the turret at the moment.
Yeah, the explosive shot, I believe it is.
Explosive shot.
Yeah, he went for that jump instead.
I was thinking the Gragas ultimate, explosive cask.
Explosive cask. Well, that would be impressive.
It would be.
Start firing them off.
That would be really strong.
Would be pretty impressive.
Really strong.
Curb's doing a great job against Jesus in this mid lane. We saw it while you were talking there, the little back and forth they were having, and it's actually put some good early pressure on towards him, but Jesus, as you can see with that pot running, he's just going to regen his health there. Curb has hit level 3 first. I'll tell a lie, they both hit exactly the same time, so no advantage gained. Aronair on the hunt.
Curb will have slightly more damage here early on, as long as he can land actually his Q, get the auto attack with his passive onto Lulu. He will have some very good damage and maybe constantly shove it down. It's going to be hard though, because Lulu, we know how strong she is with some levels, and we know in the mid game how much you can do around the map, and that's what Millennium needs to be careful for.
So at the moment, of course, the gold advantage will be in favour of Millennium due to that one kill that Aronair's got. Let's see where he can take it. Svenskeren waiting to try and bait something in here. Svenskeren not showing himself just yet. Jerry does get stunned out by N-rated there. Dodges out the death sentence. Now he's jumped too far. The chompers catch on. Svenskeren comes in. He gets flayed nice. He does manage to get the stun on towards Jerry. Not quite enough damage from the Heartseeker, and they will get away.
Yeah, he couldn't get in and get the auto attack, so he could apply the red buff. Instead, he put his Q down and his E. Wasn't enough to kill Jerry. He did use the flash though to get away, but very aggressive from Millennium early on, actually jumping in with Tishana in these early levels.
Very aggressive stuff from Creaton. Meanwhile, Kevin in this top lane, well, both of these top laners have had some fantastic stats, and despite Millennium's desperate position in the league. Oh, the hook on Candy Panda. This could be a kill, surely. Barrier being used out by Candy Panda. The Ignite running. Creaton jumps to the tower for it. He maybe got too deep, but gets away. Gets stunned out by N-rated just a little bit too late. Now Aronair comes in. A little bit too late to the party, but great play from J-Ree and Creaton.
Fantastic coordination. First the hook, then he jumps in. Instantly the lantern is there, so he takes the last hit, clicks the lantern and gets out. Very nice play by them, and getting an early lead on Tishana, who scales so well into the late game. That is huge for Millennium.
He did only get 2 assists, unfortunately, though, because it was J-Ree with the Ignite that got the kill. So
Scumbag J-Ree.
Scumbag J-Ree, as always, still not too bad. Candy Panda got himself a second Doran's Blade and some boots. Pinkwald will spot out Svenskeren, which is why Kurt will play defensive.
We will see, actually, Svenskeren. He's obviously not going to figure out he's being spotted because the wave is already at the turret, but he's more or less just running around the bush here, so the ward will stay alive, and now they know he's gone into the jungle. Aronair might try and close around on him.
I think the positioning, they realized the moment he started moving there.
And he got it.
Yeah, now he sees it.
Please spot it.
Look where you're standing, Svenskeren. I think he was in the shop buying maybe there.
Instantly into the shop, but at least he gets the ward here. The one we actually had from the first lot to Aronair. That's the reason he picked it up. Did manage to spot him out on one gang, so I guess it did its purpose.
Did its job for now. Big advantage is being gained up in this top lane by Freddy. This is a bit of a problem starting to develop by Kevin. We knew this would happen though.
We knew, again, this Renekton, you always want to go for this early aggression on. And Aaron here, he's not in a position to gank anything, so if Svenskeren would have been up there, nothing he could have done actually to stop it. He's so low, he needs to recall. Svenskeren might just be waiting for level 6 though before he really wants to turn on the aggressive ganks on the top. He can just jump into the face of Kevin under the turret and then maybe try and kill him.
Well, for the first time around, his gank did not work down the bottom. That was down to J-Ree's great play. Oh, the stun on J-Ree straight away. Candy Panda hooked in again. They're going to go jump straight on towards him. No stuns available. Jumping on, getting that slow down. Candy Panda also low. Explosive shot doing its work. One more hit. Creaton gets the kill.
And this bottom from Millennium, every single hook from J-Ree, they keep going actually onto Unrated, but every single hook from J-Ree, Creaton is there, he jumps in for it, and another kill for the bottom from Millennium. It's going perfect for them.
Yeah, Candy Panda taking some serious beatings down the bottom here. This time around, Creaton did get himself the kill. So with that Vampiric Scepter, he's just continuing to build. And as you said, Tristana late game can become very scary. Svenskeren is close by, still not hit 6. Meanwhile, this top lane, we see Kevin and Aronair chasing on Freddy, but with that Dominus popped, he has got himself away.
And Aronair wasn't level 6 yet, so he didn't have a slow to apply, so there was no CC for the Shyvana Evelyn in the gank. So Freddy managed to just get away. He did use his flash though, and also the ultimate was popped, but he got a lot of damage out to Kevin as well.
Yeah, Kevin could not stand and bang in that fight, that's for sure. Freddy quite happy to manage to stick that one out and continuing to grow his CS advantage, and has not backed off either. Meanwhile, Kevin, he's having to go away, so unsuccessful gank in the top lane, as well as more CS gain for Freddy.
Freddy's just doing so well, and if he can keep the pressure up, and if SK can then punish Shyvana, it's going to be fantastic for them. We need to also notice Cutlass building build on Tristana. She will go for this early Blade of the Rune King, And let's see how much damage he can actually put out in the mid game and how strong it is. Against someone like Renekton, who will obviously be going for more armor-based, it might actually catch him by surprise.
And I'm just wondering how long Creaton's jumps into Candy Panda will last, because sooner or later someone is going to be able to counter that one and tell it it's coming. Maybe like Jez's wild growth on him or something like that. Maybe just going to bounce him back. Bouncing bomb just changes. He will not recall quite so close to base. Svenskeren though, he's just about to hit level 6. We'll see where those Grand Skyfalls start to pay off.
This is one of the first SK games we've had where Svenskeren didn't get a good gank early on, get a kill early. Simply means now with bot lane and mid lane are having issues, they need him to set something up. He should be hitting level 6 from this red buff, then we can really start to see him be aggressive with the Grand Skyfall.
Played so well over the last few weeks. We'll see how it develops and see how he's now on the back foot. Felt quite a bit far behind in terms of CS over Aranea, of course, as well. You can see, so Aranea with that first blood in this game would have helped him significantly. Freddy starting to be aggressed upon by Kevin. He has been back to Bygone for that triple Doran's items build, which he always goes towards.
It's a standard Freddy one. It's simply lane dominance. He will delay his bigger items for later on, but it's going to give him such a boost in the lane. He wants to simply focus on keep on having this CS lead and constantly pressure Kevin down as much as he can. And if he can keep Kevin, or if he can make Kevin stay there, he will be able to get the turret at some point. But look at Svenskeren down here. Will he try and ultimate in? He's in a position for it.
He's going in, he's going for J-Ree and Creaton. Who's he going to be focusing on? He does manage to get the jump, the Heartseeker in there, but Aranea quickly counters. Tibbers goes down. J-Ree taken so low. Genesis comes in towards him. He gets one. Can they get a second? They have to try and make this count. Curb's coming in there. He's already thrown out the Mega Inferno Bomb. Does not land onto Jesus, and they may try and turn this one around. Creaton could jump in, but that would be big ballsy play.
So Aranea was actually there for the counter gank, but he didn't manage to stop anything. And then we saw Jessis roaming from Curb. He was there in the bot lane before Curb was even close by, managed to help pick up the kill. Millennium though, starting this dragon, doesn't seem like SK. Oh, now they spotted out. They might go for this one.
They're going to come around. Jesus has that Glitter Lance available. Doesn't get it down. Aranea with a smite. But Aranea taken very, very low. They do jump on. Wild Growth bounces them. Choppers go down. Don't quite land on towards Kraton. But Kraton's got the help now. And they can see N-Rated and Candy Panda coming around. Can he get Jesus down before he dies? No, he cannot. And SK turn themselves a kill. But the dragon, it went to Millennium.
It went to Millennium. Only lost one member for it. And meanwhile, Kirby's just back in the mid lane, pushing it down. Gonna get some damage onto this turret. Nice aggressive move from Millennium here. They actually, first of all, lost the fight bot because they weren't able to do anything with Svenskeren jumping in, even though they had members there, and Jessis then joined in before Curb, which was the turning point, but then instead, straight up to the dragon. Nice move by them.
Aggressive play from both teams so far. Everybody trying to make some sort of plays, and this is exactly what we like to see in the opening of Super Week. Knowing that it's dilly-dallying that you get in week 1 of Super Week, everybody is looking for wins right now. Everybody is trying to find themselves some places, some wins in the standings.
And we have two teams fighting for completely different things. SK, they want to be the top team in Europe. Meanwhile, Millennium, they want to get rid from this bottom spot. Alliance is only one win ahead of them, so if they win this one, they'll actually go tie with them before their game, put the pressure onto Alliance. You don't want to have one of these relegation spots. You want to get into the playoffs. You want to get a chance of actually winning the split.
Mega Inferno Bomb from Kerp there, going to be on cooldown, but clears out the wave and forces Jez's away from that tower. Meanwhile, bottom lane, as you just saw, Kraton farming up a storm there and keeping himself a big, healthy advantage over Candy Panda, who has himself gone back and got that BF sword.
And we just have to say it's been very impressive performance by Jiri and Kraton in the bot lane. Against a very hard lane, any Jinx, so much burst potential now. They have the ultimate ready. If they catch someone out, they should be able to take them down. But Millennium just been doing such a good job of punishing him early on, before the level 6 mark. Look at our Neo here in the top lane. This time around, no, ultimate isn't ready just yet. There we go, it's ready now.
Just about available. Freddy gets the slice and dice and pops the dominance, and again, will walk away without any issue there. Kevin already used that Dragon Descent. He's just going to get bullied back again, but we're up to that level 9 phase. We'll see how it develops.
And it's smart by Arneer because the only lane losing for Millennium is the top one, so he's putting his focus there, wants to try and force Freddy to play more careful, make him lose some CS, give Kevin a chance to actually get back in the lane. Because mid lane wise, look at the CS lead for Curb. And also bot, we have obviously Tristana doing such a good job.
It is a gigantic differential there in that mid lane. Meanwhile, bottom lane, here comes the Grand Skyfall once again. No flashes available this time. J-Ree is going to get caught out. The knockback from Kraton's not going to be enough. Candy Panda and Svenskeren trying to put the damage back down on them. They have to back away. Aranea is coming in there. Mega Inferno Bomb will be available any second now, and that's why they're going to back away. Kerp is trying his desperately to get down there.
We've seen this combo so many times for SK when they have this Pantheon. Svensson, he will tower dive the bot lane. They have Annie, provide the CC, you have the traps from Jinx, and you just want to get these kills onto Candy Panda because they know how good he is and how much he can actually carry games. But now they're going in.
Well, they thought they were being clever, but instead there's a Mega Inferno bomb coming in. They get on towards Candy Panda, they're turning back around. Aranea is going to get taken down, and Rated gets the kill. And now they're getting on towards Kraton with the Get Excite. He's going to be able to jump for this one. No, the stun, the zap, is it going to be enough? Kraton taken so low, and Rated gets a double kill. Finally gets taken down by Kerp, but that support is doing work.
And the fact that Aranea died, popped the passive onto Candy Panda, so he was faster than Tristana and he could run away, didn't get the last auto attack. Instead, N-Rated got the stun again, put it onto Kraton and took a kill. Kerp was there to finish him, but still, 2 kills for the support. Definitely worth it for SK.
Svenskeren now taking advantage that Aranea is not there, looking towards that red buff and will try and take it. Aranea is coming, but I think it's going to be a little bit too late. We'll see whether he heads and turns towards Kevin in that top lane. Bottom lane will go down. Millennium will take the first tower.
And here, notice here this movement from Svenskeren. Kevin is down to 60% HP. He does have his ultimate though. Meanwhile, in mid, Aranea being poked down a little bit.
Well, we're going to see Kevin. He's going to use that Dragon Descent, but he got stunned out quickly. Svenskeren's coming back around. Flashes out of this one. He's going to be chasing, but where's he going to go? Kevin, you've got a Lulu coming up the river towards you. He's just going to try and run and try and lose them in that jungle, but they want the kill.
He's going to try and kill himself at the turret and then give no gold to SK Gaming. He should actually be able to do it because they're all backing off. If he goes into the turret now and dies, it will go as an execute.
Keeping my eye on the rock. It's not available yet. He will go for the execute. They're just going to take the blue buff instead. Well done, Kevin. Gets himself away free.
Very smart again. He did lose a big wave coming towards his turret up top though, so it was working for SK even though they didn't manage to pick up the kill. Meanwhile though, Millennium being very aggressive here in this mid turret, and now the Grand Skyfall coming in.
Coming in, where's he going to go? They're all really low and the minion turret is going to go down. Kerp's going to be the focus target. Have they got enough? Mega Inferno bomb thrown out. Wild Growth. Oh, the rocket doesn't land. Doesn't matter. Kraton taken so low. Tries to turn it around. Does not get the kill on Svenskeren. And it's yet another double kill for N-Rated.
But this was definitely all on N-Rated. The Grand Skyfall came in and then N-Rated, he flashed in 3-man tippers right into the face of Millennium, and he managed to pick up 2 kills for himself. Meanwhile, the rest survives. Now, Aranea going Svenskeren.
Aranea goes in, but the stun turns it back around. They don't get the kill, or will they? No, the Ignite's not going to run. The red buff was on, but he will get away. Whew.
But he felt he had to flash out actually. After he took the lantern, he flashed away from the minions. He didn't want to risk dying for it.
Sheer panic there. Kevin and Freddy in this top lane continue to go at it. That tower yet to go down, and actually Freddy not really built too aggressive so far, still continuing to build defensive tanky items, as obviously we saw in the last game, static ships coming out from Shen. But that is Darien.
That is Darien. Freddy is actually happy keeping this turret alive, at least for the moment, because it means it's easier for him to farm, no real risk of him dying to the ganks. We see Kevin actually going aggressive. Can fight back a little bit at the moment, but still, Freddy has the pressure in the lane.
Get that twin bite down on him, and well, let's keep it burning. He does get a lot of damage down on towards him. Dragon now up, and Millennium are in position, as are SK Gaming, and of course Sotha's top laners, neither with teleport, will be involved in this fight.
We have the Blazing Rune King on Tristana here, so we will see how much he can do. Aaron is in a good position to land ultimate onto all the members. He's going in.
Does manage to catch it on. Mega Inferno bomb comes in. Will it be? Everybody seeing SK Gaming very low on this one. Svenskeren finally comes around to try and get the smite in there, but he's way too late. N-Rated will drop down, and Millennium going to pick off SK Gaming, then jump on towards Jesus. He tries to get away, but he gets the Glitterlance down. But now Svenskeren, he's in all sorts of trouble. He gets picked off. It's 3 kills. Can they make it 4? Candy Panda, you're not going to make this kill count. He tries to get the zap, but Kraton gets a double, and that's a 4 kill for a Dragon. Bad investment for SK Gaming.
Terrible stuff from SK here. They end up losing 4 members. They were caught in the Dragon Pit, and you had Tristana standing out here from the distance. Pantheon, notice here when we see the replay, notice Kraton's position right here. First, Svensson jumps in. He's the only one doing it. Goes back, next one joins in. Jesus popped ultimate onto himself. He's no threat for Kraton at all. And the fact that he used 2 members on trying to kill 1 guy and they're not even close means they will lose the entire fight. So here, Kerp flashes away, and then the rest of Millennium just joins in and kills off Candy Panda. So Kraton doing really some nice work here.
Massive lack of focus there, it seems, but Kraton, well, he is doing a great job, like you said. Fantastic stuff. So, Millennium, they are in this game proper this time around. 1,000 gold differential between the two. 2 wanted towers, and of course, Dragons back and forth so far. SK Gaming are certainly up against a challenge here, and they said it themselves in the video, in the feature, that how much they feared Millennium. It wasn't going to be a simple case of, well, Millennium bottom of the league, this could be an easy stomp, because SK Gaming, while they've been on a charge, they've done so well in the lane phase. I have to now question, although SK Gaming used to be the kings of the late game, that can drag a game out, but that surely goes into Millennium's favor.
With the combo from Millennium, it's definitely in their favor, and the fact they're doing so well now in this early mid-game stage really shows some great things for them. If they can keep getting the farm onto Kraton, Curb can keep farming, and obviously Shyvana's going to get stronger and stronger, you're going to hit the point where it's very hard for SK to do anything in the fights, because Lulu, she has good damage, but she doesn't have the same amount of damage as someone like a Ziggs in the late game, and also obviously Renekton will fall off.
The fact that Death Cap is now on Curb, we just saw that Inferno Bomb will take out the wave. No problem there.
And we also saw Svenskeren being around the spot lane once again. Every single time there's a wave coming towards the turret from the end, he's there, he wants to jump in, set up some more kills for both Candy Panda and, oh well, and Rated so far has been picking up 4 kills.
Yeah, and we're going to see what it's like when those two top laners do get involved in the fight, but as of yet, it is pretty much going to be sticking in that top lane. You can see that tower, it really just needs a slight breath of fresh air from Freddy, but he's not willing to take it yet with that Deathfire Grasp. That would be impressive for a Renekton.
That'd be a weird build.
The Sunfire Cape burning away. He's going to let the minions take it.
The minions will be taking this one. It simply means for him though, he needs to be careful when he's pushing up. If Aranea comes up there, together with Kevin, they will be able to do a lot of damage towards him, but meanwhile bot, SK once again pushing the turret, and notice again, position of Svenskeren. He's close by to Grand Skyfall if something should happen.
So 3 turrets now down for SK Gaming. Let's see where they take it from here. They managed to gain themselves a gold lead for the first time. Candy Panda's going to get spotted out by Aranea, who so far has gone unnoticed by SK Gaming. And honestly, he was the spy in the midst that managed to turn that dragon fight around. Aranea making the call. Static Shiv being picked up by Kraton.
So a lot of wave clear from the side of Millennium with obviously the 6. You have the static shift and also the explosions from Shoshana when she's killing these minions, so it's going to be hard for SK to push something unless they can force Millennium into a fight in maybe the jungle, maybe for the next dragon, somewhere around the map. But so far though, Freddy in trouble up top.
Freddy in all sorts of trouble. I'm not too sure when he's going to get the second dice. He does, but Dragon Descent will follow it through. Svenskeren's coming back in there and quickly takes the lantern to get the hell out of dodge.
Aranea is coming in though. Freddy, he's very, very low. Can he get out together with the rest of the team?
Aranea gets spotted. Svenskeren jumps on him and Aranea just gets zapped.
So Aranea thought he was catching out Freddy. Instead though, 3 members from SK instantly collapsed on him and just killed him straight away.
Destroyed in the mid lane. Candy Panda and Rated, they have been a duo combo that's been up against it for Kraton and J-Re. But Rated picking up those double kills back to back has got himself some gold. And you know, you talked about in the last game how it's not such a bad thing for the double kills to go to the supports. Is he making it count? I mean, he's got the Chaos Crucible, but
I think we can argue 4 kills is maybe a little bit too much. A few kills works out.
Not if you're Edward.
Not if you're Edward, of course, but an early me kills, it's a good boost of HP you can give to target and also stops on the CC. Let's say Jinx, for instance, gets caught out by the slow from Aranea, you pop the me kills, stop the slow, and you can start kiting away. So in that case, it will work in favor of SK. But generally, you obviously want those 4 kills to go on your AD carry, especially someone like Jinx, who will scale so well into the late game.
We'll see how it works out as this game progresses. Currently, Jazz is now with that lit flame glowing. Will continue to push. They've taken all these 3 outer turrets on it, yet as of yet have no focus on where exactly they want to push towards. I think it's going to be down to Svenskeren once that Grand Skyfall's back off cooldown, which is in just a few moments, to maybe try and make a pick. Of course, Dragon is up in just 30 seconds time.
I see SK already standing ready, waiting for Millennium to walk down, place a ward, and then try and catch them out. Svenskeren, you can always join in. Freddy already moved down. Kevin is still up top. You will have time though, still 20 seconds before Dragon even spawns, so he can come down. We might see a big team fight for this one.
Yeah, they need to place a pick ward, but they don't have one on them. This seems to be a problem. It's how they got caught out last time at that Dragon, and without it, they may pay the price. They may be going to try and catch out. They have gone to J-Re. The choppers land. Everything thrown at him. Mega Inferno Bomb lands on towards Svenskeren. The rocket thrown back out. Kevin goes deep. tries to get it towards it, and Rated picks himself up another kill, taking down Aranea. It was a 2-for-1 trade, SK Gaming coming out on top.
So again, the very smart position from SK. They were waiting for Millennium to just walk in, put down a ward or something, and then they started the fight. Jerry, he was the focus, instantly killed him, didn't even invest too much in him, and then Aranea, who was in the middle of the fight, dropped low, got the kill onto him, and now they can pick up this dragon. So very nice play by SK. Didn't have the vision control, but they still had the better position and waiting for Millennium to actually walk into them.
And gives themselves a sizable gold advantage, a chunk of change in the tune of 2,500 gold advantage now. Kevin, he's turned and run towards that top lane. I believe we're going to see Jez has been up there to play defensive duties. Yes, they don't want to let Kevin get himself some free reign on that top turret.
And we just need to see Kevin keep farming. He needs to try and catch up. He's so far behind in CS compared to Renekton. But again, he will outscale him with Shyvana. He will become this very hard to deal with monster in team fights. Once he gets the Blade Rune King, he can even 1v1 someone like Candy Panda. If he can get to him in team fights together with Aranea, they will be able to more or less just kill him straight away. Unless obviously we have the Mikhails and now also the Talisman on the very fit support to help Candy Panda survive.
The Fever meanwhile on Svenska, and that works out. Heartseeker's going to be doing a hell of a lot. Shred, which will be helping Candy Panda out, that's for sure.
And that's the perfect thing about Black Cleaver on Pantheon. Your Heartseeker strike on every single proc actually gives the proc from a Black Cleaver, so you instantly apply the full debuff, and it's going to give Candy Panda and also Freddy a lot of extra damage onto these targets, whoever they decide to go for.
Yeah, Blade of the Rune King now completed for Freddy. It will be built by Kevin as well, certainly any minute now. They're trying to wait for a gank on Jez here. We'll see whether he pushes too far forward. I don't think it's going to happen.
I actually like this Blade Rune King onto Freddy. Normally we see them either going full tank or go something like a Hydras, but he's been doing Blade Rune King simply to be able to 1v1 Kevin for a longer time. So he doesn't want to give him this free lane to just push down all the time, so he's smarter built by him, and also shows he really wants to stay split pushing.
Always gets me seeing the picture-in-picture of the two top laners. They all look both so relaxed because they're just farming.
Farming away all the time.
Not a lot happening between them. SK Gaming are putting a bit of a move on here. They're pushing up that mid lane. And actually, with Kraton in that bot lane, they have got themselves a little bit of free time on this turret.
And if they can actually get some good damage here, notice the shield onto the minion. Curb throwing down his ultimate, doing a lot of damage to both Jizz and Candy Panda, and clearing the wave.
Yeah, he's got a lot of damage on him, to be fair. With that Rabadon's Athenes and a Blasting Wand in there, he has got a lot of damage along with that penetration with the boots. So there's Mega Inferno bombs, while on a pretty short cooldown, are doing a lot of damage.
We have to remember, obviously, on 4.2, Ziggs is slightly nerfed. His Minefield here is doing less damage to the minions. First one takes 100%, and Hook on Rated.
And Rated hooked in there. That may well get followed through. We can see that he death jumping in, going in. Svenskeren is going to get straight away from that one. The rocket goes out, takes Aranea so low once again. Tibbers goes down. That's 50 gold for Kraton. He's going to be happy with that one. Freddy and Kevin, they're going to be dueling in the jungle. Meanwhile, we do see the rest of SK, they're putting pressure on the turret.
We still have ultimate onto Freddy and onto Lulu. If they want to go for something here, they will be able to pop it, get some extra HP, maybe even win the fight. It seems, though, they're hesitating a little bit because the minion wave is not there. It's joining in now.
Mega Inferno Bomb may well be back up. Oh, the hook doesn't land. They will take the turret. And SK Gaming hit and run. And they back the hell away from that fight. Good trade.
Good trade for SK. They managed to get the turret, didn't lose any member. Still have 2 ultimates ready if something should happen. Dragon is not up. Baron is obviously up, but it's a bit too early for Millennium to just rush it. So SK, very nice move, can now back off, get some more items, and then return to the dude. Pretty much the same thing again.
Void Staff was picked up by Kerp, so those bombs are going to continue to be hurting, and nobody building Magic Resist just yet. No Spirit Visage or anything for Freddy either, so that may well be the next invested item. Did get that Mercury Treads. No, it's gone Warden's Mail. He's more worried about Kraton.
More worried about Kraton. Here's the thing, Kraton has Blade Rune King and Static Shift, so he has some magic damage in there. Together also obviously with his E, his ultimate, he will be able to do some damage onto Freddy. He should also be a little bit worried about someone like a Ziggs. With an early Void Staff, he's doing a lot of damage to someone like Freddy if he should be jumping into him.
Yeah, that's why he's not built the Spirit Visage. At the moment though, we do see N-Rated poking out. He's got himself 5 kills so far, by the way. N-Rated doing a fantastic job on support. Any support out there that's watching, inside or outside the LCS, you know, maybe ones that are commentating would be so happy with the performance of N-Rated.
Well, he's doing really well. I like the fact supports get the kills.
That's for sure.
Actually, obviously, one thing we have to talk about with the Blade Rune King, myself making the mistake here, it's obviously physical damage. That way, the armor will work. It's actually only the static shift and the explosive cast. Again, I said the explosive cast like it's fucking Gragas.
Absolutely. At the moment, though, Freddy is continuing to farm out in that top lane. And the rest of the team, SK Gaming, looks like it's going to be the bottom lane they're going to move towards.
And let's see here again, onto Krelaton. He will be going for the Infinity Edge as his next item. He's not going for Last Whisper early on, even though there's so much armor onto Renekton. We will see how much he can actually do when it comes to these real team fights. SK though, waiting with with Svenska, and he wants to jump in if some fight should break out.
Well, Millennium in the moment. Maybe getting collapsed on the zap doesn't land. Aaron was just setting off at the side there. SK Gaming all coming in. And it looks like Millennium will be ready and waiting for this one.
It seems though it's very hard for SK to actually do something because of the wave on Millennium's side. And also Aaron waiting here in the bush. If he's catching out onto Candy Panda, they can go for it.
Candy Panda's in all sorts of trouble. The Mega Inferno Bomb does come through, but Candy Panda has to be so far away. And Rated's going very deep with Tibbers there while the rest of the team are disengaging.
So instantly just backing off from SK's side. Smart move. Actually very nice move by Ernest, staying here in the bush, coming in from behind onto Candy Panda, popping the ultimate, forced his flash. Nothing more from it though, so we just kind of return to this. Nothing too much happening, waiting for Dragon. Everyone's kind of backing off.
They were waiting for a gank. I think they were waiting to expect someone to come around again. They were doing this before, waiting to try and catch somebody out in this. But this time around, they haven't got the health. Dragon is up in 10 seconds time, and Millennium are already moving for it.
And Millennium is in a great position because we have Jinx recalling, we have Svensson recalling. If they don't stop it, then Millennium should be able to pick up this Dragon.
And Rated playing guard duty with Tibbers. Tibbers about to wear out, but Jesus is close by. No pink wards yet again for SK Gaming around this Dragon area, which is why Aaron Air has always been getting free roam. 4 members of Millennium now down here. We do see Freddy and Kevin both making the way down through the mid lane. Only Jesus and Enrated waiting by. We see Svenskeren rushing back here. Candy Panda making a move for it, but they can start off Dragon. I think they may take it before everyone else gets close.
Look how fast they're actually taking it down, but we see the Grand Skyfall coming in for the fight.
So, last time around, Millennium did manage to get 4 kills. This time around, Svenskeren not even close. Look how much damage those mines did to Svenskeren. They have to start getting some magic resist here.
They really need it because Kirby is so strong. We have some magic damage on Journey as well. And also, if they don't build this early magic resist, or some magic resist, we will see Kirby just every time they try to hit the turret, land a few bombs into their face, force them to back off, and make it very hard for SK to do anything on the map.
It's really becoming a problem. SK Gaming rotating very fast here though towards his top turret, and Millennium caught a little off guard, and you can see that Lich Bane doing work already from Jesus.
That's the thing with Lulu again, the tower pushing potential you have. Also the guy combined with someone like a Jinx who can stand from far away, shoot down the turret. So much damage from SK as long as they can rotate properly, and Millennium is not in a position to stop them from pushing.
And as you mentioned, that one Mega Inferno Bomb knocking them all down to about 2/3 health, forcing everybody from SK Gaming back.
And that's the thing Millennium have to more or less do the comeback on, land some good poke with Curb, and then they engage from there on, land a hook from Jerry, or maybe Ernier coming in from the side, get the engage going, and then they can win the fights.
As it is right now, this game could certainly go long. It's happened before with SK. They definitely drag these games out. I don't want to say drag them out, they just hang on in there. You know, they don't want to risk their big advantages. And so many times actually you do see the amateur teams maybe coming through and just going a little too all in, and SK Gaming are just making sure they don't do that. Millennium themselves, well, they are playing the defensive duty at the moment.
But Millennium should be happy just farming away because of the combo they have. They want to get to the late game point. We have Infinity Edge completed onto Tristana. If he goes for a Last Whisper next item, he will do so much damage to someone like Freddy, and it can be a big issue. And now, Aaron actually closing in. He's very far pushed out Freddy.
Part 3 hasn't worked the last 2 times, but this time Freddy's got a long way to walk and no help for at all. But the rest of SK Gaming may try and make a play. Grand Skyfall coming in there. We see Freddy just trying to delay this one. Flashes away. Aaron is going to be the focus target. Jumps away. Good stun on towards Kevin. And Freddy's running for his life. Jesus comes in. Assassinates Aaron Air. Tibbers goes down. They go for Kevin. They don't get the stuns, but it's a pick nonetheless.
And once again, we see the mobility on Lulu. Pops the W on herself so fast coming in there, joining in for the fight. We see the Grand Skyfall. SK, they were planning for Freddy to get ganked, so they could just join in with the rest of the team, get a kill onto Millennium while they were not under the turret.
Candy Panda lying in wait there in the jungle, wanting to get something. Instead, it's just a zap on J-Ree, and they're going to step away. Still didn't get the turret, but they got themselves yet another kill.
Everything counts for them at the moment. If they can do this again, if they can bait out a fight, join in with Lulu, join in with Pantheon, they will possibly be able to go for something like a Baron, or at least try and get down some turrets. Is what they need to do, because in a straight up fight under the Millennium turret, it's going to be very risky for them to just dive in.
You also saw just how long it took them to try and kill Freddy there. That was a Shyvana and Aaron Air combined, as Shyvana and Evelyn, sorry. So used to seeing him on Evelyn, called Aaron Air these days. N-rated, well, he was quick, but he didn't land the Tibber stun, and that may well have got themselves the second kill and then the tower.
Shyvana is obviously pretty tanky. That's the thing with the fight up top as well. It was the 2 tanks from Millennium against the tank from SK. It will take time before they can actually kill them, and that's what SK knew. That's why they could join in for the fight and help Freddy out.
They've really not got any vision at all in the jungle for anything. They've got 2 wards in the top lane, that's it. There is nothing. They are playing blind through the entire jungle, apart from the pink ward at Baron.
And as long as they have this pink ward, they know SK is not going for Baron.
That pink ward's been there for a long time.
It has, and it's enough for them to not actually run out there because they know SK is not doing the Baron due to that ward.
Well, we do have a pause, not too sure what it's for. It looks like it's Freddy looking longingly lost to the side there, so it doesn't look like it's SK game. Although saying that, Svenskeren has his headset off, so maybe it is Svenskeren.
Which obviously means we shouldn't be talking about the ward placements.
No, we're not talking about anything. He's running.
He's running.
Looks like a bathroom break, I believe, is the correct term.
Could be.
But as it stands, maybe it's that water.
It's still annoying him from the start.
He poured it over himself early on and said, whoa, I've got a wet patch. I'm gonna have to go to the toilet. I know what's happened. But
it's very slow then, if you didn't realize before now.
It took a little while to seep through.
Yep.
Still those grand Skyfalls, they've been getting him excited, and now he's going to have to run to the toilet. Nevertheless, Millennium, of course, are hanging on. And, well, they're keeping themselves in this one. It's 52,000 to 49,000, so still very close game. And I almost feel like I've been saying that a lot today because we've had, this is our 3rd game going long that is very, very close.
It simply just shows all the teams in Europe, they are so close to each other skill-wise. And in these games, it's just all about, first of all, combo, and then also how well can you communicate late game. We saw Rocket in the last game, how even though they lost a member, they stayed around this Baron, went in, got the kills on the Gambit, and actually finished the game from there. That was such a good call by them. If we see the same thing here today, or in this game, if we can have, for instance, Millennium winning a teamfight late game, what will they do with it? Will they try and take Baron, finish the game? These kind of things, that's what we need to see them being spot on when we get these very close games.
Well, if you have just tuned in, ladies and gentlemen, we're just during a pause right now. Svenskeren just returning back to stage. Of course, if you've missed 2 of the early games, this is Super Week. We are starting at a much earlier time because we have 16 games overall to be played throughout these next 3 days. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is when the European LCS will be broadcasting. Friday, Saturday, Sunday for North America. Of course, we'll be having their own Super Week to follow. So far, well, the Copenhagen Wolves have took down Fnatic. Fnatic losing once again. And Roccat in an amazing game against Gambit managed to pick themselves up a victory.
What a game that was. And so big for Rocket after losing 3 games in a row. Get this win. And against, obviously, the team they were fighting for with top spot. So it's perfect for Rocket and such a nice game.
So game has resumed. Svenskeren is much happier, I feel, after running to the toilet. So it seems SK Gaming are still in control. Finally, we do see a ward on that Baron for Millennium.
Yeah, Millennium put actually 2 wards down here towards the river of SK. They want to spot something out. Still needs them, requires them to actually move out of the base before they can really use these wards. Otherwise, the pink ward was enough to just spot SK from not going down.
Quick ward on the mid lane there was wiped out, and actually, you saw just one Glitterlance catching Kurt there, and that chipped quite a bit of health off him. So those Glitterlances are going to start hurting once they go through fully. That was just a tiny little block of it.
And that's the thing with Lulu, you have this constant high amount of damage on these squishy targets. He actually went right through the pink ward here, pinged it out, so they will be cleared now, meaning Millennium have to get some more wards into their own jungle, otherwise SK can just run around with them, like we actually saw when they went up top, tried to get the top turret, but they got pushed back in the end.
They've done a great job of keeping that top turret alive, actually. Millennium not really made any plays because their split push just simply hasn't been working. Kevin's not been able to push against Freddy so far. And that's going against really what should be happening. It's level 16 versus level 17. It should be the Shyvana time to shine, but Freddy's doing a great job.
The fact he had the Blade of the Rune King meant he could simply duel Shyvana for such a long time, and then whenever something was about to happen, now they're actually trapping here, waiting for them to walk in and place the ward in the pit, and then they're going to jump over to them.
Renee comes in, isn't going to get spotted. That ward will do. They're going to go for it. They're going to Grand Skyfall. They get the stun. RNA caught out with this one. Megrin Bomb tries to turn it around. They jump on towards Kraton. The Wild Growth not close enough, and nor is the Rocket. But that's 2 members of Millennium taken down very quickly. Freddy is low though. Candy Panda is low. This is going to be a risky Baron still.
There's no smite because RNA is dead. Obviously, Kirby still standing here, poking away from the distance. Kraton in the middle and trying to heal.
Baron almost finishing off the barrel. The water balloon, whatever you'd like to call it, from Kirp. The the bomb, the little bomb, that's what I'm going to call it. You're going to get the exact name for me, aren't you? But it forced them away nonetheless.
The bouncing bomb.
Bouncing bomb.
So you're not entirely wrong.
No.
Was the bomb. The fact that Curb though was there, full HP, he was able to just poke away onto SK, meant that to back off from the Baron. It was such a nice play by him, trapping it, knowing there was no vision from Millennium, so they had to walk in to place the ward, and instantly went in for the fight. Millennium though picks up a dragon, so very good for them.
It was very good for them, and that was all Curb. That was simply
all Curb.
One Mega Inferno bomb followed by a bouncing bomb. That was it. And that took SK Gaming, all of them, below half health. That's a problem. They really need to get these Spirit Visages built in. You can suddenly see Banshees, Veil, Spirit Visage, everything suddenly built by SK. It's finally dawned on them 35 minutes into this game. You know what? That mid laner Curb that we talked about at the start, we best get some defense against it.
And let's see how well it can pay off, because again, yeah, Curb has really been the shining point for Millennium outside of this laning phase. Obviously the bot lane, Kraton and Juri had a fantastic laning phase, picked up some kills for them, but then from there on, it was just all the Curb show, landing all the poke, defending all the turrets, and if he can keep this going, he seems to be going towards the Sonias now, making him even harder to kill for SK's side, and they also have to kill Kraton, so we will see this late game combo for Millennium in action soon.
Play SK Gaming very close to being caught out here. They do have the rest of the team close by. Jesus is actually down in the mid lane at the moment, and you just saw Kraton taking down Red Buff down. How fast is he shooting right now? Of course, late game, Tristana is a beast.
With the Q, double attack speed items, you're gonna shoot so fast. You're gonna proc your Blade Rune King, you're gonna proc your Static Shift so many times. If you can just stand there and just fire away on whoever is closest to you. So we will have to see how SK will deal with it. Possibly everyone just jumping onto Kraton, like Grand Skyfall, Freddy going in, pop the Lulu ultimate to knock him up, and then just try and kill him in the moment.
Well, the difference is, of course, Kraton firing like a minigun. Candy Panda actually
does
does have a minigun. Svenskeren not going to get Hawkmow with that death sentence, but that almost certainly says, hey guys, there's a ward in this bush.
He's also actually pinging it out. They know the ward is there. Maybe one cleared up. It's a bit dangerous. There's the sweeping lens. It was actually from Millennium side, wasn't it?
You see Freddy. Ooh, then mines are going to do some damage, and Svenskeren is taking a lot of damage from those bouncing bombs again. Freddy did just shove that wave out, Millennium. Oh, we're aware of that. This little Baron dance is going to continue, but it's the waves that are pushing in SK Gaming's favor.
Yeah, Bottom will push up with a giant wave towards the turret. Curb did recall though, he can clear it with his bomb. When it's ready in a few seconds, just throw it down there and then go down and join the rest of the team and be ready to fight. Meanwhile though, SK pushing up the mid lane, want to try and get some damage onto this turret.
Shoving it straight in there. The mines will clear it out, but they're going to try and rotate as quick as possible down towards this middle inner turret now, and that's where they want to get onto. They need to get there fast because that's going to get cleared out. Curb has that Mega Inferno bomb. That'll probably wipe the wave out straight away.
You might not even have to use it because he's there fast enough, putting down all the damage onto the minions. And when you're against the Ziggs, you just have to rotate away from him. You need to make sure the ultimate is not ready, otherwise the minion waves are just constantly getting cleared out.
And that may well be what they've done. They've gone straight back up towards the Baron, trying to draw them in there. Candy Panda is just wandering. He's going for the red buff. That's what he's looking for. So SK Gaming all going to step away from this one and delay for a bit longer. All the wards timing out for both teams.
So we more or less just going to see them get in there, trying to get some vision control. Millennium is in a good position now because two members from SK recalled. Seems though they're more focused on pushing down this mid lane. Jiri will join them from behind, but so will Freddy. Maybe coming in from the side trying to flank them.
Zap from Candy Panda, popping off the side there, popping that cork on towards Kevin. Freddy is still off at the side here, and maybe SK Gaming are thinking of engage here, but it's a tricky one. Kraton caught out by a single Glitter Lance. J-Re, oh, Jez is going aggressive here. They may well push for this one. This is dangerous, dangerous play. SK Gaming very much split out here. Freddy going in, Grand Skyfall coming in. Who will they catch on towards? J-Re's going to be locked out there. Taken so low. They see the Rocket coming back on towards them. N-rated with a great flash. Tibbers there catching 4 members down, but again, the damage is not really strong enough, and Curb just turned it around and blasted it back in their face.
And the rest of SK, they couldn't really follow with the flash Tibbers from N-rated. That's why they didn't have any follow-up damage. Did get Diri, engaged onto him, Grand Skyfall came in, he was the target again, but Jess, he also died for this one, so it was 1-for-1 in favor of Millennium.
Yeah, and they're really going to have to deal with this, because Curb every time steps away and manages to lay that damage down. it's not only Kurt they've got to deal with. Kraton is becoming a scary, scary beast right now, and has, with that Infinity Edge, Static Shield, Bloodthirster, Blade of the Rune King is where it is, and Last Whisper, has the capability of maybe taking down that Baron along with Aranea.
He's going to do a lot of damage onto Baron if they get in a position where he can just hammer away. At the same time, SK have 2 targets they need to kill instantly, Kraton and Ziggs. And with the combo, they can't really join in. That's the thing, they can go for 1 target, Freddy dashes in, stuns it, Grand Skyfall, maybe they can kill this 1 target, but then the other one is still there just firing away, and that is an issue for them.
Turret goes down in the top lane, finally. Freddy's been defending it valiantly for a long period of time. Svenskeren comes in, farms himself a chunk of gold, and we are back to positions as everybody defends off and gets back in towards that Baron. Sweeping Lens is going down and rated with the pink ward. We'll clear out Baron, and again vision is denied from Millennium.
So we have the vision in favor of SK around this Baron pit. Millennium gonna ward it over. Invade is gonna try and clear it, and you have this battle where you try and poke him over the wall whenever he tries to go and clear it. Sometimes people even pull the Baron to start doing damage onto the support, killing the ward. Meanwhile though, Millennium moving in as a team, they want to kill this pink ward.
And that pink ward, they're going to come around as well. The rest of the team, they knew that Jez's was down the bottom, Candy Panda was well off, Svenskoren's a mile away. So Millennium get themselves some positional advantage again. The mines are going to keep them at bay, and Millennium actually may be able to make a play here for Baron.
If they can keep this vision control going, if they can stay in here, keep this pink ward up at the small bush, they will have the advantage if it comes to a fight. But SK, they also have the option of just going straight up mid, push down the turret, go for the inhib. Seems though they just force Millennium to back off.
They're running for the mid lane as well. You can see Candy Panda and Jez's all going straight towards this inhibitor turret. This is a problem for Millennium because that Lich Bane, that minigun, it will do work on this turret. The Mega Inferno Bomb's going to come down. It's going to force them to tank it out, but Candy Panda's happy to do that. The rest of Millennium are coming around the side though. Death Sentence does not land, and SK Gaming again got themselves a chunk of damage on towards it. Millennium just reacting in time.
And every single small advantage really counts in this game because it's so close between the teams. So just the fact you could go up, get the turret down to 50%, big win for SK actually, because if they do this once more, they will get the turret, and SK trying to trap them once again.
This time around, I'm not sure if it's going to work. Freddy does back away. Svenskeren wasn't convinced by it, and Jez's actually is down at 2/3 health. So they will continue to sit this one out, push it along there. Svenskeren's going to go on, make sure that top wave pushes in towards the top inner turret. And we do see J-Re and Aranea backing off. Tense stuff here. Just 1,000 gold separating these two teams. 42 minutes into this game. I think they've realized there's a challenge on their hands. 59-minute game, last one. We can beat that.
And both teams are actually in the situation where they don't want to take a chance. Nobody wants to start the Baron, risk it being stolen, or risk the enemy team coming in, fighting you at the Baron. That's why we see these small rotation between 1 or 2 members, as we saw with Jizz and Candy Panda, saying one guy goes down, takes the dragon, doesn't want to invest too much in this. And both teams playing so safe and just waiting for this one big fight to happen that's really going to decide the game.
Being used there by Svenskeren. That tells me they're not planning on going for Baron anytime soon. Instead, it's going to be the bottom turret, and they've actually caught them out of position here. Kirby's close by. He's the nearest one there, but Candy Panda's going to wreck this turret very fast. Jesus comes around with that Lich Bane. They're going to take themselves an inner turret.
And Kirby decided not to use his ultimate to clear the wave. He just let it go. He knew actually that SK was in a position just to tank it up then, even without any minions. Because Millennium, half the team was on the other side of the map. They couldn't stop the turret.
They're running for the top lane now, and whether they're going to go to Baron en route, they realize that it's where Kraton's going to have to show himself. He does. He pops out there, and he's going to go towards that big top wave. And again, Freddy goes in, clears out all of the wards, and gets himself some clean coverage. Sunfire kept causing the Baron to attack.
But again, the position from SK is so good because they have also the option of going up top, push the wave in. Bot lane, they already took down the turret. Mid lane, they have the inhib turret at 50%. So if something should happen, if Millennium oversteps somewhere, SK will be able to just run to the base and try and get down something from Millennium's side.
Very much a game of cat and mouse right now, and Millennium are certainly the mouse. They are the ones that are trying to dodge around SK Gaming, trying to set up those traps towards them. Millennium though have got their wave clear, have got a great late game team, and honestly it's going to be a tough one to call even if they catch them in a perfect position. Svenskeren is in there, Mega Inferno Bomb thrown into the Baron. Freddy is taken down by about 1,000 hit points there, but again he can just regenerate that with that dominance, and Millennium still no closer to getting in there.
Curb simply used his ultimate just to get some vision in there to see if they were actually doing the Baron, and they were because Freddy had already started. Candy Panda was there, a lot of damage onto the Baron, so it's smart. Good move by SK, keeping a lot of members outside to force Millennium to stay away, and then try and sneak it at least with 1 or 2 members.
SK, gotta be careful Millennium don't decide to go for Baron themselves. Jesus shows himself down that bottom, and he's going to continue shoving this wave in. He has already got that speed. Remember, the speed buff from the Lulu at this stage will be launching him up that river. You can see how speedy he's managed to get straight back in there. They're going for Curb.
Oh, the Grand Skyfall coming behind him. It's going in now.
They're going to get on towards him. This jump comes in. The stun lands down. He has to use the Zhonya's. Oh, the rocket whiffs past there. They do not get the kill. The Ignite is running on Curb. I'm not too sure it's going to be enough. Now Freddy's in trouble. The Chomper's thrown down. Mega Inferno Bomb comes back out. Now Freddy's going to have to run for his life. The Talisman pop from J-Ree. Is it going to be enough? No, they turn it back around. Kraton's going to be the focus, but the damage from Kraton is too much. Candy Panda gets our air down. Kevin's going to get stunned out there. Jesus turns back on towards him. The Zap catches on towards J-Ree. Jesus continues to chase it. Pops the speed on. Glitterlance will come out. He goes for Kraton instead. The rocket from Candy Panda. He gets blown backwards, flashes back in, and Rated comes in. They get themselves an inhib turret. What a great turnaround fight, but it's still very close.
And SK finally got the team fight they needed to actually push into the base of Millennium. They killed 4 members here. Curb was forced to back off to the top lane because he was so low from the fight. Such a nice disengage by SK Gaming. N-Rated was the one who popped down the tables into the face of Kraton, forced him to flash away, and he just turned around and killed the front line of Millennium.
And that was all about Jez. The speed, look at him coming up the side.
Notice right here, full focus on the Curb early on. He's actually forced more or less out of the fight just from this. Yes, he pops the Zhonya's. The rocket comes in here from the bottom, doesn't hit him, but he's still so low he can't really join in for the real fight. He has to pretty much back off here, meaning it's 4 against 5 in favor of SK Gaming. And while Millennium are pushing up, they want to go for this one. They actually pop the Talisman from J-Ree to try and catch someone out. They disengage, boom, tables into the face of Kraton, force the Mikhails and then him flashing out. And from here on, because Curb is not there, 5 members from SK simply just pick up the kills on the front line and then they inhib.
And now you see SK Gaming, they are taking down that Baron as well. Mega Inferno Bomb being used out there, but not going to get it. And SK Gaming get themselves the Baron.
Perfect for SK Gaming. First they win the fight, get the inhibitor, so now there's pressure in the mid lane, and also they pick up this Baron. They've been fighting over this Baron for like 20 minutes or so. They got it now, they can start pushing down. And if Millennium is there to try and defend, SK might even be in a position to just go straight in and fight them under the turret.
Such a valiant effort from Millennium to keep themselves in this game, but you've got to feel the tables have very much turned now for SK Gaming. They can keep on pushing these waves down. We see Kraton in the mid lane trying to keep them at bay from that super minions. Candy Panda's going to pick himself up a red buff, and they're going to continue driving in that top lane.
So let's see if they actually want to go straight in for the dive or just want to pressure them, get a few hits on the turret, back off. This again, remember with Lulu, you can pop the shield onto someone, go in, look how big the shield is. That is like 3 or 4 tower hits you can pretty much avoid and just hit the turret and back off. And if an engage should happen from a Millennium side, you have so much disengage with exactly Lulu. Also Annie popping down the tables in your face, stopping you from moving forward.
Svenskeren drawing down Kraton actually in this mid lane. There's a big wave on the bottom that they may want to rotate towards, or at least somebody could go down there. Maybe Svenskeren to try and draw some attention. Kraton not being here. They still have that great wave clear of Kerp, and you can see those mines being used. Grand Skyfall coming in. They're going to jump for it. Who's going to be the focus though? It's not a great focus, I'm not going to lie. SK Gaming are really in a bit of trouble here. Millennium could try and drive on towards them, and they force them away very strongly.
And Svenskeren, he jumped onto the top side, while in red he went in for the bottom side, and he was just more or less alone against Kraton. No focus here from SK's side, and they end up actually losing with Enrated dying, Kraton picking up a kill for himself, and more farm in his mid lane. He's just gonna get it. He's almost fully built. He just needs to sell his boots now, and then he's done.
And he is very, very strong, and that's still a problem for SK Gaming. Jesus is going to come around and try and steal away that blue buff. It's not there. Instead, it is Millennium, and that Baron, you know, how much they fought over it, it's not being used.
Now that's the thing, they decided to go for the dive, but it was so uncoordinated, they didn't manage to kill anyone. Svenskeren more or less jumped in, then he had to run out instantly because Enrated was dead from going down on the bottom side onto Kraton with pretty much nobody, just himself.
So, Dragon and a big chunk of gold, of course, for the Dragon at this stage of the game. Will be max gold because everybody is at max level. Lion rated still only 16, as well as J-Ree at 15, so everybody else is max level, just the 2 supports. Still means it's around about 250 gold per person, I believe.
270, I think it is, straight up.
It's a lot of gold. 18-11 in kills, and you can see 7-3 in towers. It's very much SK Gaming on the driving force, but well, Millennium are not done and dusted yet, and you gotta feel one good fight, one good turnaround with Kraton alive, they really could just drive down that mid lane.
And we have seen it so many times. I remember last season we had, I think it was Neon actually on Tristana in the game against CLG, where all inhibitors were down. He was Tristana, he just stayed in farming, got all the items he needed, and then he just won every single team fight from there on, and just managed to win the game. Millennium, they can do the same. As long as they have at least some of the inhibitors up, they have less pressure on, and they can just wait the whiff curve and force then SK to more or less dive them. And that's what we saw last time. It didn't work.
Jez is trying to hit and run with that speed boost he gets himself. They're throwing that Glitter Lance out, also using that shield to get the Lage Bane hits on towards that inhibitor turret. That's a definite tactic that could work, and he keeps on doing it, and you can see that tower almost down to half hit points already.
And again, you see the shield, how strong it is. He can go in, he can tank these hits, get the Lich Bane proc down, and that's how they want to get the damage. Once the turret then dies, they just want to go straight into the fight. Unless Millennium Match goes in first. We see the Grand Skyfall.
Grand Skyfall again. I'm not sure it's what they want, but they're going to go for it anyway. The Mega Inferno Bomb, not enough. They get the turret down this time around. Now they're going to try and turn this fight on. That rocket does land. It does a lot of damage. Kevin goes down. Kurt with the Zhonya's. He gets pounced on instantly by Svenskeren, and they get themselves 3 kills. They push on towards the inhibitor turret. They can finish the game right here.
Give rated a medal for that Tibbers. He just popped it straight into the carries, onto Millennium, hit 3 people, and they can take this game.
Millennium are not done. Kraton's going to come out as he got the damage to try and take down SK, try and force them away. The Nexus turrets have gone down, and Rated just walks up and stuns him, tries to do the job, goes for Kevin, gets Kevin down, but he gets stunned out and killed, and SK Gaming finally take down Millennium. It was a long drawn out effort, that's for sure, but they deserved it.
Such a long game. Millennium did a great job trying to defend, extend, get to this very late game point, but in the end, a beautiful team fight, especially the engage or the Tippers from Rated, locking down the carries so SK could just get the kills they want. And actually very good use of Grand Skyfall there, because they wanted to force Millennium to back off from the turret so they could kill it and then start the fight.
And that's exactly what they did. It took them a time, that's for sure, and Millennium put up a great defensive performance, but again, they find themselves rooted at the bottom of the table. It is looking grim stuff for them. Meanwhile, SK Gaming, they're now 10 wins, 7 losses. They're actually tied with Gambit for 2nd place now.
And that's the thing, they've been playing so well, and if they just keep winning like they've been doing so far, they will get up there in the top. We heard Vander saying they deserve to be the top team in Europe at the moment, because they are so strong. Yes, it was a slow game, but it's simply just SK Gaming doing no risky moves, doing no mistakes. They were just constantly fighting for vision, and then whenever there was a tower open, they just moved over there, took it down, moved back towards the Baron, and forced Millennium to stay around.
And you know, we've talked about so many teams how when they lose that lane phase, they can't come back from it. SK Gaming kind of lost that lane phase for a bit there, and they did get themselves back into it. They have proven many times that they have the staying power. If the game's going to go long, they can take it long.
They can definitely take it long, and the shot calling is there for pretty much everything. We saw again how well they moved around the map. All of a sudden, Candy Panda walks down to bot lane, takes the turret, walks back. He goes up mid, gets it down to 50%, he walks around again. SK Gaming are so cool when it comes to taking these rotations or these fights later on, and that's what we saw from them, even though they were behind from the early stages.
So where does Millennium go from here? They're now rooted at the bottom of the table. They've got to take 2 wins just to catch back up with Alliance right now.
Millennium just have to remember this was one of the best teams in Europe. They just had a very close game against such a long drawn-out game. They had the chances to win. This great early game stuff. We had the Dragon fight where they took 4 kills onto SK. So they just need to take some confidence from this and saying, we are a good team. SK Gaming, losing to them, you don't have to feel sorry.
No, absolutely. And they really put in a great performance. But we are in week 8.
True.
There's only 11 weeks. You got to start looking at promotion relegations, especially the moment Super Week finishes. That's when you start to know your situation you're going to be in. You've got the likes of Cloud9 out there and Ninjas in Pajamas, who both performing very well and would be a tough, tough ask for Millennium.
But so again, turn it around. So how close the European LCS is. Everyone is doing well. Even the bottom team is putting up some good fights. So for the relegation matches, it's going to be so close. And yes, obviously you don't want to be there, you don't want to play them. But for Millennium, I wouldn't even feel too scared because they are a good team. They are playing well. We've seen it here. That they can also beat Cloud9 or NIP, whoever they're going up against, and get back into the LCS. So it's not the end of the world dropping down.
We'll see how it works out for them. We've had 3 fantastic games. We've got 2 more to go. It is time for us to take a short break. And when we return, Shox and Deficio right here, we'll be speaking to SK Gaming's Candy Panda. Then with both teams hungry for wins to change their positions in the table, the Super Hot Crew and Alliance will be facing off. That all happens in 3.5.
Just kill him. Okay, he's in hourglass. He's in hourglass. Watch out, watch out.
He's slowed.
Yeah. Watch out now. So Stunner is still up.
I will flash.
I want Shyvana.
I can turn on to Stunner.
Watch out, 6. We still have Lulu. We still have Lulu.
I have flash tippers.
Can we turn on to Stunner? Go to Stunner. Go to Stunner. I want Eve.
Eve.
Eve is dead. Shyvana.
Stunned.
Kill Shyvana.
He's dead.
Nice.
Can we go nice now?
Can we keep going?
Can we keep going?
Keep going.
Okay,
I'm really low. I'm not sure if we can end.
6 is spacing.
Yeah, go.
Spacing.
Keep going. Nice.
Oh.
Nice.
Got him.
Nice. Can we finish? We can finish.
Nice job, guys.